Mr. B, please state your name. Please say your name, sir. Please say your name.
So who's on that? Sorry. Can somebody help Rife on that? On Derek Lewis. Where's Mr. Lewis? Yeah.
I'm having difficulty with the video on that. It's like a watch guard type of thing.
So who's on that? Sorry. Can somebody help Rife on that?
I'm on that case, and that's the first 2 words I've heard from Mr. Timberlake.
Well, I've talked, not to Mr. Ham, I've talked to Kathleen in the DA's office, but it's not just that case. There's cases where you get media sent directly to you from the, I mean, I'm not, all I gotta do is look at it. I can be ready on the case.
Just
look at it.
we'll do whatever it takes to talk to
I gotta
the
figure out
lawyer
how
with
to-
it, but I wouldn't know how to do it either.
No, yeah.
I have to be aware of it to fix it.
I'm not blaming him. I'm talking to other people. It's
I
a
know.
matter of me. I gotta get
But
up there and bring the computer. And
I think what Mr. Ham is saying is it's on the day of the trial docket that he finds out that you need some help on that.
Well, I can look at it. I don't see any problem.
Yeah, how long is it? Do you think 10 minutes, 5 minutes? You know?
It
I
would
have
be,
no idea.
it wouldn't be that long. It's probably like. It's
Well, you
just
weren't going to use it as a.
I have no idea what he's referring to, Judge.
That's what I mean. It comes directly from BPD, not your office.
No, isn't it the arrest? Or is
I
it
assume it's like the body cam stuff of the scene.
do you know that that actually happened? I presume it would normally, but do you know that there was one that exists?
No, because I have to look at it.
Well, but right, it's 468 days, and on
I'm
the day of
not
trial, you don't know what it is you're looking for.
I gotta get with their office to figure out how to.
Well, I know, but don't do it on the day of trial, please.
Okay, well, I've got like
Hello.
10 of them, 8 or 10 of them.
I know, don't do it on the day of trial, is what I'm saying. When it's over a year and when it's a year and a half old, how can you explain that away?
It's just maybe 10 minutes. And it's not.
I know,
nothing to
that's
do.
what I'm saying,
Look at it. I'm
it's
not
only-
asking to resell it.
Yeah, but-
Trial.
Well, 10 minutes could say, you could see something, and go, wait a second, I've got to explore this now. Well, yeah.
Because
I've done that
I've read the
before.
offense reports and it's just, I don't really anticipate the tape.
Well, they've never been inaccurate. Why? Well, go up there and look at the thing.
Well, I didn't
No.
bring my computers. I can do it this afternoon.
Well, get it done because Aaron Cotton's going to go first. That's not a big secret. So,
Connor's 4 years old. I'm ready.
well, this one is 1200. It's older, and he's in the jail.
All right. So we're not
That's
sending
fine.
one across the line.
They don't. There are no juries being called for the civil courts this time.
They got a jury in Georgia. Which one doesn't go there? You can send it over there.
Judge, as to Mr. Connor, I would like the court to admonish him as to
Who?
the one he's referencing. It's the second case. on your
Admonish
docket.
who?
I think it's.
I'd like Mr. Connor to be admonished because he's turning, according to his lawyer, he's turning down a probation deal. And he's not eligible to receive that from
Do I
either.
really need to do that?
Well, I want to make sure that he hears it from the court because
Well,
he's risking too much. There's two. Yes, Your Honor.
But you're worried about his free will. It's his choice. I'm sure his attorney has made him aware of, and he can make his choice, whether it's a wise choice or a poor choice.
I just want to make sure it's an informed choice, Your Honor.
Do you know what the deal is on this?
They've offered you deferred probation. You want to do that or?
See,
He's refused it before.
Well, he's
You
refused.
change your mind? You want to take it today or not?
Do you understand what that means?
what I've
What
advised,
deferred is?
what I've advised his attorney.
Hold on. Do you understand what deferred or unadjudicated probation?
Not exactly.
It means you would be pleading guilty there, but you would be placed on a form. Is that what you would be willing to do from the state?
It's what
Is
I've
that what you-
offered. I want to make
You
sure
would
it's
be
conveyed.
placed on a form of probation where you're not found guilty, so long as you follow the same kind of rules that probationers follow. It's the same rules. If you fail, then your probation can be revoked. You can then be found guilty by me, and you could be sentenced up to the full range of the punishment within that range that I deem proper. unlike a jury probation, which is called regular probation. They can't give deferred. Only I can. Regular probation means you're found guilty forever, unless somehow you get that expunged in some way, which I don't know. And you're put on probation. And if you fail on your probation can be revoked, and you can be sentenced to the amount of time that you're sentenced to X amount of confinement. That's probated for up to 10 years. If you fail, your probation could be revoked, and you could be sentenced to that amount of time that you were sentenced to for regular probation. The other third option is, of course, you go to prison. What kind of
The SAG assault or assault on others.
There are two charges. The specifics are that I would dismiss one for that plea.
Is it a first degree felony?
Yes, sir.
All right, so
I think it's a second degree.
It's a second degree.
If it's a second degree felony, you're looking at no less than 2, no more than 20 years confinement in prison.
10 years probation.
You can't be on probation longer than 10 years. What I do on deferred and regular probations, if you do well on the probation, hold on, pay attention, it's important. If a defendant does well on probation and the probation office says, yes, they've done well, I can shorten it to as early as 1/3. So if you're put on probation, which most people are put on probation for 10 years, and they go, oh God, that's a decade. But if you do well, 3 1/3 years, you can get cut out. You can get cut short 3 1/3 years. Then if you've done well on deferred, I sign a dismissal and the case is dismissed. If it's regular probation, which is the other kind of probation, it's not dismissed. You're convicted forever, but your probation can be terminated, ended early. And then you go about your way, but you have that felony over your head. Deferred's very special. Because it gives you a second chance. But on the other side of the coin, if you're not going to take advantage and do poorly and make another bad mistake, then you could be sentenced for a second degree felony up to 20 years in prison. So it's got good and bad, but the question is, are you going to make a mistake and put it behind you and do well the rest of your life? That's it. Everybody makes mistakes. It's this room is all about how you handle your mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. How well you handle is that direction or this direction, but it's your choice.
What do you want to do?
They normally aren't concerned about this, but there must be something that they think that the state feels that normally they don't show as much concern because that's his job to tell you about. But there must be some facts here that can really subject you to some strong punishment if it came out. But they must think that you're worth giving a shot at. But nobody can convince you. It's your shot. It's your choice, not anybody else's. And a jury trial is a constitutional right, and you have a right for a jury to decide. But if it goes before a jury, they don't give deferred probation. They can't give it, only I from a plea of guilty. If you've never been in trouble before, they could grant you probation, but you're convicted, which may or may not affect your career. Probably would. It normally does.
Still have a seat. I'll talk to you.
Thank you, Judge. I appreciate it.
Sorry about that. Let me check very quickly. Oh, right.
with the VJO who did the assessment for Mr. Chrism. I spoke to both of them. They stated that they asked him personally for his date of birth. And when they did go through the DOD records, they're still coming up empty on the fact that there was no military service for anybody under the last four of his social or his date of birth, Your Honor. So unfortunately, as of now, we're still where we're at.
All right. So probation, what are our plans for Mr. Chrisman? Because I don't think the military issue is ever going to be resolved. I know you can look at it online, and I know you all have been online and it's not there.
Yes, ma'am.
And I know that there was a fire, but the fire he's speaking of is not a fire at the facility that holds the records, correct?
Correct, ma'am. He's speaking about a fire that occurred at his home. I do believe the residence off of, I'm blanking on the address, but the one where you lost your two dogs.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So-
that occurred in the fire at the military facility he did talk about last time. He was too young to have happened for his records.
Okay.
Your Honor, so I think one of our major concerns is Mr. President continues to use alcohol. So that's our major concern at this point. The original thing was, him to try to get the services to get to where he has a more supportive base, but at this point.
Because here's my concern. I don't like sending, for want of a better word, problems to somebody else. So to me, sending him to California would be sending a problem to California.
Mhm.
I just don't see how that's the answer.
I know the last time we were here, Judge, Mr. Chrisman he did ask about some treatment. So maybe the treatment that he was more leaning to, we can look further into. I know that there was an outpatient treatment and then there was an inpatient treatment.
All right. Is there a treatment available for him maybe at Lifetime Recovery?
I could check with Lifetime, see if they have any beds available.
All right, Mr. Chrisman, Lifetime Recovery will be able to help you. I don't like sending what's considered a problem. I don't like farming work off to other people and say, oh, we can't solve this problem. So here you go. Good luck to you. And I don't think it will be fair to you or right for me.
California.
Yeah. I don't think it would be fair for me or fair to you to send you off to California. And I don't even have any, much like your military records, I don't even have any documentation from California saying, oh, this is my support staff or a supportive group in California. I don't have any of that.
I have it through Concord. You told me the exact opposite last time we talked, and you were requiring this one direction.
But I have nothing. Everything that everything.
Information today has got.
Well, here's the thing. So far, everything that you told me, I don't have any documentation for.
Because we were going down one direction. I do have the information from Concord that I was accepted into an inpatient program in California through Aetna, which is my insurance.
But here's the thing, being accepted and actually being in the program, I don't know if I send you to California, you're actually going to go in the program. That's the issue.
I have to go in the program because then I'm still on probation in California. So they're going to relate it all together. So I
No,
have to go.
that's not the way it works. But if you want to give her that information, you can, and we can come back when we come back. But I want to see if Lifetime Recovery will perhaps accept him.
Yes, Your Honor. I'll check with them, especially with his medical issues. What was the other name? Remember the last time we were here? It was, San Antonio Recovery. San Antonio Recovery may be another option, Judge.
All right. So we'll look into Lifetime, San Antonio Recovery, and also
Concord.
see about his California, but he has to provide documentation for that. And then it will be up to California whether they even accept you. People think when I say probation is transferred that it's, oh, I wrote transfer and you're there tomorrow. That's not the way it works.
Yeah, they have to accept you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Gabriel Gobert. All righty. So these are cases that are,
Jesse Hall. Oh, Marvin. Marvin was reset 4 weeks. Deshaun Barlow. And here's the indigent affidavit approved. We have, looks like NTRP on one and a new case on the other.
Correct.
Okay, two cases are called 23CR7 and 23CR956, the state of Texas versus Hakeem Futrell. Mr. Futrell, that's you, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you are present here, and your attorney is Langston Adams, who's to your left, as you know. You've got a motion to revoke probation in 23CR7. You're on probation for robbery, and since just May of this year, is that right?
Yes.
And so since then, it is alleged you've committed the offense of failure to identify on January 3rd of this year, criminal trespass on that day, aggravated sexual assault on June 27th, failing to report to the probation office, and failing to pay court assessed fees. Those are the 5 violations. And in 23CR956, this is a new case. It is alleged that you committed aggravated sexual assault on or about June 27th, 2023. It also alleges in this indictment that you have a prior conviction of robbery that is shown through this case, 23CR7, and the motion to revoke probation here. And this aggravated sexual assault is a first-degree felony if found guilty, but because the robbery is here, that enhances it to no less than 15 or more than 99 years confinement or life imprisonment. So those are very serious punishment potentials here. And of course, the robbery, you're looking at no less than 2 nor more than 10 years imprisonment if your probation is revoked. So, what is Mr. Futrell's plans here, Langston Adams? What do you want?
I had talked with him. I wanted to talk to everybody in here
Okay, yeah, what about what?
about my convictions, wrongly indictment, and throwing me in jail. This is my 7th time being in jail, and
That's a lot.
This is the 2nd time that y'all came with this story.
What do you mean, y'all? The grand jury indicted.
About
not me.
being locked up.
I didn't have anything to do. It's a grand
Can I
jury.
talk, sir? Is it my time to talk?
No, we're going to correct you whenever you're wrong for the record. Okay.
I've been quiet the whole
All
time
right.
while y'all talk.
What we're
But
going to
when
do
I
is we're going to
start
get you, you can go back and
You see,
when you can be polite, we'll bring you back out. Okay, thank you. Let's bring Paul Solomon next. Let's go. You'll be out. Go back and we'll come back later.
Every time y'all.
We'll come back later. Paul Solomon is next.
And I'm tired of being locked up, man.
Paul Solomon, please.
Done on that. In the tool, really mad to get a tank, all that.
I can understand you're having problems.
Right, in that case, Judge, I talked to him, but man, he's not trying to do nothing on that, so if you can just release me in point, whoever you want.
Well, we're gonna do the motion to revoke probation first.
You want to set that for, you want to do it today?
No, for a hearing.
If you don't mind, just set it for hearing. I asked, but on those new cases, I mean, I didn't talk to him.
All I've got is just one aggravated sexual assault.
We got the robbery too.
No, the robbery is a motion to revoke probation, but we'll do them. You can,
I can handle
we'll
it.
keep you on the motion to revoke.
And then for the new.
And then
stuff,
the new case, you can be released if that's what happens.
That's fine.
Are you Carl? Solid? Okay. Are we gonna do a motion to revoke probation hearing here?
Right,
Do y'all have an agreement on this?
no,
No? Okay.
but I think that, well,
Okay,
we
so
initially did.
Hold on, let me see. What we've got is These are all, looks like administrative.
Yes, sir.
Okay, 20-34667 is called. You are Carl Sampson Solomon III,
Yes, sir.
present with your attorney, Mr. Adams, very nice man, isn't he? He's been very helpful. He's a very tough guy. And he's helping you here. You have this motion to revoke probation filed on October 10th of 2023. Do y'all waive any additional time to
Yes.
prepare? Y'all ready to
We
move
ready to
forward
wait
on
on.
this?
It's all text.
All right. Does the defendant waive a formal reading of this first amended motion to revoke unadjudicated probation? Can we proceed in summary?
Yes.
Is that good for you, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear as best you, that's your other, there you go. As best you can. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that any statement you make during this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
Yes, sir.
Lower your hand. In summary, sir, this motion states that on May 4th, 2022, you were placed on deferred or unadjudicated probation for 2 years for evading arrest or detention with a motor vehicle, a third-degree felony. Is that true?
Yes.
Number one, state you failed to provide verification of performing community service hours as required in your probation order. Is that true or untrue?
Is it true or untrue? Sorry. About that you failed to pay court assist fees.
No. Performing community service hours, number one.
On number one. He's asking if it's true or not true. Is that allegation true or is it not true?
We say,
Not true.
that's okay. That's okay. This says you failed to pay court assessed fees as directed. You are $2,080 in arrears. Are you able to pay that money?
Yes, sir.
Were you able to pay any of that money?
Yes, sir. I was paying on it.
You paid what you could?
Yes, sir.
Let's go to 3. 3 states that you failed to report the probation office for Jefferson County for the months of July, August, and December of 2022, and March, May, and July of 23 in violation of your probation order. Is that true or untrue?
That's
What's
not true.
okay?
In,
All right,
in
so
your
it's
honor,
pleading untrue to all. Yeah.
I apologize. Just with the first amended section, we would abandon the date of December 22nd, December of 2022 and March of 2023, but all the other ones. There would still be July, August, 2022, and then May and July of 2023.
Okay, I've changed this. I've deleted and December of 2022 to read on the second line of number 3 under first amended, and corrections department for the months of July, August of 2022. And what was the other deletion?
March of 2023. So it would be May and July of 2023.
Okay. And that's deleted as well. So this should read that the defendant failed to report to the Jefferson County Community Supervision and Corrections Department for the months of July, August of 22, and May and July of 2023 in violation of
That's correct.
condition 4 of deferred order. Any objection to that?
No.
Then it is deleted. And so go ahead, call your witness.
Your Honor,
We got to put evidence on.
yes, Your Honor, the state would call Joe Champ.
Mr. Champ, raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm any statements you make today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth during this hearing? So help you God.
I do.
Lower your hand, sir. Go ahead.
And Mr. Champ, how are you presently employed?
As a probation officer,
That here in Jefferson County?
Jefferson County.
And are you familiar with Carl Solomon?
Yes, I am.
Okay, and you see him in the courtroom here today?
The gentleman to my left.
Your Honor, I'd ask that the record reflect the witness to identify the defendant.
Yes, it will.
And as part of your duties, are you a supervising officer for Mr. Solomon?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And looks like he was placed on probation on May 4th, 2022.
Correct.
Okay. And he signed terms of conditions there. As part of his probation, he's required to report to the community supervision department there.
Yes, he is.
And has he reported?
He reported sporadically. Wasn't consistent.
When did he report?
When did he report or when did he not report?
Oh, both. But when did he report? When did he know?
Well, he reported on May the 4th, 2022 for his initial intake. Then he met with me for his initial office visit, June 15th, 2022. He failed to report July the 12th and July 21st of 2022.
Okay.
He failed to report in August. He reported September
Hold on. In
22nd.
August, how many times was he supposed to report?
One time, sir.
But twice in July.
And the reason why it was twice in July, because July the 12th, he was scheduled for 9:30. He couldn't make it. So I rescheduled him to accommodate him for July 21st at 3:30. His girlfriend called me and said that he possibly contracted COVID-19 virus and he was en route to see me. So I told her to contact him immediately and tell him do not come to see me if he possibly has COVID, because it can put myself and my coworkers at risk. And I also informed her that he needed to provide me with a negative as well as a positive COVID test result, just to verify what you're saying.
A negative or a positive.
Negative or positive, yes.
Well, I guess if you have a positive, then you get you need a negative to ensure that he's no longer.
That is no longer.
Okay, I see what you mean.
But I was never produced with any type of documentation
Okay.
to support that.
All right. So the next month was August.
You want to talk?
October 13th, he reported, 2022. November 22nd, 2022, he reported. December, we abandoned because I
Okay.
scheduled him for January 26th, 2023, just to allow him some additional time to make a substantial payment,
Okay.
which he failed to do so. But he did report January 26th, 2023.
Uh-huh. What about May and July of 2023?
No, sir, he did not report.
And why?
His girlfriend once again called me and stated that he was taken by ambulance to the hospital with chest pains. I never received any documentation. Then on July the 19th, 2023, I scheduled him for an administrative hearing so we can discuss what was going on with this young man. He failed to attend the hearing.
What does his girlfriend say?
I didn't speak with her at that time. But anytime you fail to attend a scheduled administrative hearing, that's an automatic one.
Yes, sir.
He did report the following month in August, and September 26th, he reported and
Can I
he was
ask you-
detained.
Can I ask you, how did he explain not reporting when he showed up later, that next month? Did he explain why he wasn't there in the earlier months?
It was never anything that I considered valid.
Okay. All right. So we go to August, September. And let's see, a motion to revoke probation looks like it's filed in August, huh? August 28th of this year. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And Mr. Champ, also as part of his condition to probation, was he required to perform 600 hours of community service restitution?
Yes, he was, and he performed a total of 0 hours. And he's been on probation, Your Honor, for 18 months. So I just don't see the effort on Mr. Solomon's part.
Do you have a sequence report I can see? Thank you.
Yes, sir. Also, as part of his probation, was he required in condition 17 there to pay the amounts shown in the manner set out, which is a fine of $500, supervision fees of $60 a month, as well as a Crime Stopper fee of $50, pre-sentence investigation fee of $500, a urinalysis fee of $15 a month. And has he paid that?
No, he hasn't. He's only paid $263, and he has a total balance of $3,752, and he's delinquent on $2,722.
That's the witness, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Champ, did you have a telephone number, 1-888-973-5037? That number sounds familiar.
So none of that sounds familiar.
Well, did you inform my client of dates to report? Well, here, take a look at this. I have a series of text messages that you sent to my client regarding fees and when to report. If you look at that, are those text messages coming from you? You can tell me if they,
Yeah, they're automated. Anytime we enter their appointment date in our schedule screen, it automatically sends him. And I can show you where. Text message sent to 409-264-5239 on Tuesday, July the 12th at 9:30.
right. But what I'm saying is it's more than one text message. And these messages.
That I couldn't answer.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, take a look at it and see if it jogged your memory as to whether or not those messages you sent to him.
I don't personally send the messages.
Who would send
They're
them?
automated. Anytime, right, anytime we place an appointment for the following month, then it automatically populates and is sent to the probationer's current residence that we have on file.
So
Current phone number that we have on file.
So that's an automated series of messages that went to him that you just didn't personally send, right?
No, I don't personally send them.
Okay. So in terms of his probation and when he was supposed to report, I noticed in your automated system, I didn't see anything in July. Do you have any reason why there wouldn't have been anything generated in July?
It's right here. July the 12th at 9:30.
Look
Paul
right.
Solomon has an appointment.
Well,
I don't know about that, Mr. Adams. I can only tell you what I've done on my part.
fair enough. In terms of what you've done on your part, were you aware that my client was homeless?
You never shared that information.
Okay. If he were to tell me that you knew about his financial situation and you helped him financially and you gave him some things, would that be accurate or not accurate?
What you mean gave him what, like advice?
No, you gave him financial assistance to help him out. You personally, did you do that or you didn't do that?
I can't recall doing that. I can recall that, and this is on the record. If I have a probationer that's really struggling, but they're trying,
Right.
if they need $10, $15 to get a ride or something, out of the kindness of my heart, I do that.
Right. And in his particular case,
I can't recall doing that with Mr. Simon. If I did, I'm not saying I did not. I can't recall.
okay. And the only reason I asked you that question is that would go to his ability to do the community service as well as his ability to pay his fees. Because obviously, if you're helping him with money, then you had to believe he had to need that money.
Well, you saying it like it's a consistent thing, and that's not fair.
Right, but you said you don't recall doing it, right?
I don't recall doing it, but I also stated, I'm not saying I did not do it.
Okay, I'll call my client, Judge. That's all I got.
Oh, okay. The defendant, raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm any statements you make today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. I think this is the second time I've sworn you in, but you understand how important it is to tell the truth. Go ahead.
All right, Mr. Solomon, did you hear me ask Mr. Champ about him giving you money and helping you out, and he's saying he don't recall?
Yes.
Okay, well, do you recall telling Mr. Champ that you was homeless?
Yes, sir. And I recall telling him that I had a
Can you hear?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Help us so she can hear. Thank
What do
you.
you recall, since he didn't recall, what do you recall telling Mr. Champ?
I told Mr. Champ that I had an address change and I didn't have the proof of address yet. And I came in smelling like odor and stuff. And he gave me money out of his pocket and told me to go to the store and get some hygiene and stuff.
Right. And how often did he do that?
It was just,
So that one time, and just get a judge back with today being October, looking back, how far back was that?
August of this year.
So that would have been August of this year. So let's go back to, I think the dates that they put in here where they said that you didn't report began in July of 2022 and they abandoned December of 2022. So let's go back to July. You get out of jail in May, I believe, on this case, and now you're on probation. What is your current situation? Do you have transportation?
Yes, sir.
Do you have a place to go?
As of now, yes.
No, I'm talking about then, did you have a place to go? So when you informed me that you were homeless, you didn't have any transportation, you didn't have any place to go. Did you inform Mr. Champ of that?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Let me ask, not to interrupt you here, but 1319 8th Street, Port Arthur. What was that? That shows your residence here on the indictment.
That was my grandmother's house. She knows.
That's your grandmom's house?
What happened to the house? I'm sorry.
Yeah, she's still there.
No, she's still there, but I wasn't there. That's why I had a proof of, I had an address change.
To where?
Well, as of now, I stay with my mother now.
Where does she live?
On, it's 10th Street.
In Port Arthur?
Yes, sir.
And
you were used to be, and you were supposed to be, they had you reporting in Port Arthur at the Port Arthur office?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right.
so you get out of jail in, I guess that's sometime May, because he's saying that you
My
didn't.
first home was on 10th Street.
Well, not too far from you. Well, his grandmother.
Yeah, that's my first home when I was a little bit.
So when you get out of jail, do you actually go to your grandmother's house?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and what happened when you can no longer stay there?
She told me that I couldn't stay because I didn't have no money to help her with the bills.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get there, I guess this would be sometime in July, I'm assuming. You have no transportation, right?
No, sir.
Now, Judge said he used to live on 10th Street, so give us some background from 10th, and Judge can see this because it's his house, so he'll know better than anybody. If you on 10th Street, right?
It's a big street.
Big street, right? But in that area, how far would it take you to get to where you got to report in person?
Around about 2 years. So like maybe like 2-3 hours.
So that's about a 2-3 hour walk.
Oh, okay.
Right. So with it being a 2-3 hour walk, was Mr. Champ asking you to walk 2-3 hours to report?
No, sir.
Where's your board? Yeah, I don't know this. Is the probation office in the old sub courthouse?
I think it's downtown Port Arthur.
Downtown?
Yes.
On Proctor Street?
It's right by the driver's license place, right next door,
I don't know where that is.
on Lakeshore. right
On
off
Lakeshore.
What he's saying is about a 2 hour walk.
I know what he's saying, but this was, he's on 1300 block. It's 13 block.
And that's not the address I have, Your Honor. The address I have was 1120 Thomas Boulevard. I mean, anytime there's a change in that address,
Okay.
employment, marital status, any new arrest they may inquire, they're to inform their probation officer of this. And that was clearly explained to Mr. Solomon.
So the question is that when your grandmother no longer let you stay there because you couldn't help pay the bills, did you inform Mr. Champ that you can no longer stay there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then what did Mr. Champ say?
Really nothing.
Okay, so
What did you say?
he said really
He
nothing.
really didn't say like anything about it.
So Mr. Champ was aware that you were not at that. So when he said that you got a duty to inform, you did inform. That's what you're saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and on this community service, while Mr. Champ knew that you didn't have a place to stay, you're out of your grandmother's spot, right?
Yes, sir.
His testimony was that you reported sporadically, right? And that means off and on, and he gave some dates, right?
Yes, sir.
For those dates, how did you get there?
I had a friend bring me.
Okay,
Sir?
He said he had a friend
A
bring you.
friend,
All right. And were you able to have someone bring you for those other particular dates?
that's right.
All right. For the dates that's,
Days that I was able to go,
mhm.
I had a friend bring me, and
How much time is credit?
All right. So if you had a ride and transportation, would you have been there?
yes, sir.
All right. And you didn't have a friend that could just constantly bring you the report. Is that right?
Yes.
Now, obviously, Ashanique Elmore, who sent me this email with all what Mr. Champ said is generated by their computer, right?
Mhm.
So with what was generated by their computer for these dates where it had report, did you make efforts to go report?
Yes, sir.
All right. And did you ever call Mr. Champ and let him know what was going on?
Yes, sir.
All right. And the bottom line is that on your doing the community service, you didn't have transportation. On the failure to report, pay court costs where you didn't have money. That's why you paid the $200 that you did have, right?
Yes, sir.
And then on
I didn't pay all of it at once. It was like payment.
and then on the last allegations about you not reporting to walk 2 hours versus the times that you had somebody that could bring you, did you go?
Yes, sir.
So you're asking the court that, hey, you did the best that you could, continue you on supervision, and you're gonna have to just keep on. I mean, I guess being poor is not crime, right? And obviously you're poor.
Not as of now. I got my mom, she accepted me in her house and she's gonna help me pay.
So she's gonna help you play moving forward. And we know that you somewhat poor because he gave you some money to get your hygiene together.
Yes, sir.
Because when I asked him about it, he didn't recall, but now you recall.
Yes, sir.
All right. So basically, are you asking the judge to have mercy on you, a poor indigent person, and not to revoke you and continue you on supervision?
Yes, sir. I'm not gonna do my best. Well, I'll report and pass it on the pay. But now I have help.
And I think that there's some church organizations in Port Arthur that can help you in addition to Mr. Champ. Were you willing to go to some of those organizations? Because I know he gave you some money.
Yes, sir.
Will you be willing to see what other, like I think on Gulfway, they got the food kitchen, right?
Yes, sir.
And I guess you can eat there, but also you can do volunteer work there, 2 in 1. So for the community service, I know you don't have the money to eat, but you can go to the food kitchen and eat for free on Gulfway. And then at the same time, you can do some volunteer work there.
Yes, sir.
Would you be willing to do that?
Yes, sir.
All right, pass the witness.
One was double as a testimony. Yeah.
It's on the front, 800.
804th Street.
804. It's only 5 blocks away from the house. Well, 10th Street,
But he got,
it'd be 10th Street and 5 blocks. So
but remember,
15 blocks.
the house that was by your house, he's saying the grandmother
Was
put him
part
up
of
because he
that.
wanted to pay the money. So he no longer could stay at that house.
How much?
Right? Then you tell me that the grandmother. And I,
My mom, she opened her doors for me and she gonna help me. So now I have transportation and pay.
so your circumstances have changed that you now have the help that you didn't have before. That was you're saying.
Yes.
Well, obviously, I mean, he believed you were poor because he gave you money as early as this August.
How many bonds does the defendant had in this case, please? And what were they
Originally
that he posted or posted on his back?
posted 10,000, then he tested positive in court and posted a 20,000.
So he was previously 20,000.
And then he less than he pled and received a probation in May of 22.
Okay, and so this motion hearing, he had a bond for that motion hearing, right?
No, he's been with.
No, I don't understand.
MTRP. the original probation case. This last one.
When did the $10,000? What was?
That was the very first time he was arrested for the charge.
Okay, in the first, so you posted originally a $10,000 bond,
Mhm.
then he tested positive and that was revoked, and then it doubled to 20,000. And that was posted on his behalf?
Uh-huh.
I know Mr.
January.
Camp didn't do that.
No, in January of 22, he made the 20,000 plus front match.
He's got some income somehow for that. But the point is that the money is not the court bypasses that issue on money because that becomes bogged down. It's really hard on money if they don't pay and they're unable to pay. And it really has to be shown that they were able to pay, and we don't have any evidence on that. So it boils down to the other two issues on his performing community service hours and failing to report. And those are especially the failing to report and the community. What kind of community service was he ordered to do?
$600.
Of what particular?
But I explained to Mr. Solomon that at the probation department, we have a community service work crew.
Okay.
That's where the probationers work with our maintenance department.
Okay.
And if doing 3 hours of work,
We said our maintenance department,
the maintenance department at the courthouse,
the courthouse.
sub courthouse.
Sure could help us here.
And from 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock, that's just 3 hours community service.
And how much community service did he serve during his whole term?
He hasn't performed not 1 hour.
Not one?
Not
hour.
one.
Okay. All right, go ahead. Anything else you want to say?
I guess just on the reporting as well as the community service. We know that he was poor. We know that he didn't have transportation, at least for the times that he did come. I don't believe that I heard his testimony, Mr. Champ was saying that, hey, you're here at the sub courthouse, go do some work crew stuff. I mean, I at least because if you accept what Mr. Champ said is true, he did appear sometimes to report. But what I didn't hear, right, but what I didn't hear him say is that on the times that he was actually there, my client refused to do some work around the sub courthouse when he was actually there at the courthouse.
He's been on probation for a year and about 15 months, May, June, July, August.
Give or take.
Well, 16 months or so. And 0 community service hours. Nobody, the court's aware of the way that works for that amount of time. Not one solitary hour has been credited. That's because of his mistake, not anybody else's. As a failing to appear, the court finds that even though he may have issues on travel, the court is familiar of the address that he was living on 10th Street and where the probation office is, which are walking blocks. You can walk it, and some people do if they don't have the money for mass transit, which Port Arthur does have. But if you can't do anything, I've always said it, you got to report. If you don't report, we're not supervising. We can't supervise you. And that's what probation is all about, is supervision. Without supervision, we've lost contact. And you can see few people have ever been before me who have been on probation as long as you have and have 0 community service hours. That just doesn't happen. That just doesn't happen. We have 5,000 probationers and nobody's that's really not trying. I've done this for over 16 years, and just people don't show up with that lack of effort, and it's a serious deal. So, what are you asking for, parties?
We had the initial agreement we had was just was to hold it on advance, see how he does, and then bring it back. Now, I don't know if the state has changed their position on that, but that's what we initially discussed.
I didn't see an agreement written.
No. It was because, well, I don't want to speak for the state.
That's okay.
But
there's not an agreement on on the deal. If there was an agreement, but well, what's they say?
Your Honor, we would just leave it to the court. Again,
Okay.
this is,
Okay, thanks.
you're familiar with the address and what is
Well, I'm a big guy.
where
I
is
know.
it?
I can handle the responsibility. I'm just curious what y'all think. And Mr. Champ, at the end of the day, a lot of deference goes to the probation officers who I am very thankful of y'all's dedication because we have an 85% success rate. I know I say that, but 70% is the national average. That means we're even better. We're far better than the national average. And it's because of the probation office. We're committed to your success and the probationer's success. We're real proud of that. We wish we had 100%. But what do you say? You've been close enough to him.
Yes, sir, I have. And if he would have reported on July 19th for the administrative hearing, this would be a moot point. Because we would have put our collective minds together and come up with a game plan that would have been feasible for the defendant. That being said, if it pleases the court, I'm willing to hold this case in abeyance for 60 days just to see if he's going to comply. If he doesn't comply, then.
All right. Thank you, Joseph. Anything else you want to say? I'm going to make the following findings. Did you want to say anything, sir? Oh, okay. I'm going to find that there is sufficient evidence supporting this First Amendment motion to revoke probation to grant it by a preponderance of the evidence or greater as allegations 1 and 3 have been proven true. And this First Amended motion to revoke unadjudicated probation can be granted, but I'm going to defer any granting at this time. Hold this in suspense, and you're going to have 60 days to impress all of us for the better. We'll come back in 2 months. I'm going to find out how you're doing. If it is not satisfactory, then we're going to move forward with, okay, this First Amendment motion to revoke unadjudicated probation is granted. Your deferred is revoked. Now you're found guilty and you are sentenced to X amount of time. That could be what would happen. Okay. That's what we're going to do. Get a resetting and you'll be released and do your best, sir. But
Immediately.
you hear him? He's your lifeline. You're like lost in the woods. He's your guide. He can get you out of the woods, but you got to follow himself.
Put your hard hat on, don't worry.
Not your hard head, your hard hat. So
Take it easy. Good luck, man.